Blog Talk Radio.
Another episode of Endie Fiya right here with your girl Nakia. Hey guys, how you been? I know you've been missing me because I've been missing you guys. Like it's been crazy. I think I start this out like every week. I say it's been crazy, and it has. It's just been crazy. This past 9 months has just been you guys know. I ain't even gonna go there tonight. I really am not, but it has. It's been crazy. I want to start tonight out just by saying. I want to just extend condolences on behalf of Endie Fiya to all those who have lost a loved one this past week. It seems like, I say this every week, we're extending condolences out to, the celebrities that have lost loved ones. But I want to just extend our condolences out, heartfelt sympathy out to our listening audience, who are going through right now periods of bereavement, periods of dealing with grief and loss, because you all are going through it just like everyone else right now. And so we here at Endie Fiya just would like to extend our heartfelt condolences to you and your family during these uncertain and very troublesome times right now. We pray for your strength. We pray that God continues to just comfort you during these times. That's our moment of silence. I'm not going to give the list like we normally do of the celebrities because, again, we just offer our heartfelt condolences and sympathy to all those who are going through these times right now. Next Thursday will be our last show of the year. Nothing's wrong. We have the period that we have, the dates. I keep using the wrong word. The dates that we have for the awards show, and so next Thursday will be the last show so that we can go ahead and this year for the first time we have to get our nominees out, or the nominations out, so that the listening audience is able to assist us with this the voting process this year. So again, next Thursday is the last show. Royal Diamond will be back with us. I believe he was on last year, or maybe the year before. Either way, he will be our last guest of the year, joining us next Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next Tuesday's guest is kind of up in the air. Just tune in. Major announcement coming our way next Monday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just tune in, all right? That's all I'm going to say. Just tune in. We got Monday morning motivation on Monday mornings, right? Just tune in, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Just tune in. New host, same time, kind of sort of same show, but new host. That's all I'll say, all right? You know him. You love him. But just tune in, all right? 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here, Monday morning motivation, okay? super, super excited to have my guest here with me this evening. Guys, you know I love wine, right? Right? And for the one show that I should be, like, sipping wine, I'm so sober, and I don't know how to act. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands. They're all over the place. I actually got, like, 3 bottles of water here with me. But my hands, I don't know what to do with them because, you know, I'm always calm because I got my wine. I'm laid back. And if I told you the truth, you know, you wouldn't believe me. So I'm going to tell you the truth. I have not had a glass of wine since January. I know. Y'all be thinking I'll be over here drinking. I have not had wine since January. Doctor's orders. And it's killing me. It's killing me. And I actually bought wine like 2 nights ago just for this show, right? But doctor's orders yesterday, no wine. And so it's killing me to be here tonight with this young man. And we've laughed over, you know, Instagram posts and, you know, social media incidents over this past year, and I've had wine, but I haven't drank the wine, and I feel like tonight should have been the night that I had this wine with me, and I can't indulge, you know. So I want you guys to pour a glass of wine and get ready for my guest this evening. All right? I'm talking about Ray Sholes. He's a certified sommelier with the Court of Master Sommeliers. He has a discerning palate and is a passionate wine lover, like myself. He is known not only for his incredible taste and abilities and vast knowledge, but also for his friendly, relaxed, and professional approach to wine education. Growing up in Compton, California, Ray admits, I come from a world where education in fine wines, sake, craft brews, and spirits did not exist. His fascination for wine took off after graduation from Johnson & Wales University, where he earned his Bachelors of Food Service Management. His thirst for wine has taken him across the globe to vineyards where he's learned and improved his skills beyond textbooks. He has spent over 10 years in the restaurant and hospitality industry with his wine list creation, dynamic style training, and restaurant management under his belt. When he isn't hosting tasting events, he works as the Beverage Account Manager in the wine division of a Miami distribution company, who he serves prominent yet underdeserved markets, including but not limited to Black and Indigenous people of color, young professionals, Miami sommeliers, and beverage professionals globally, ages 25 to 50. Endie Fiya listening audience, I present to you this evening my very, very special guest, certified sommelier, DJ, and content creator, Ray Sholes.
That was kind of impressive.
What's good?
What's going on? What's happening? That was kind of impressive. I'm good. I was actually just kind of sitting back and listening to the bio, and I'm like, man, who wrote this mess? Like, somebody was gassing me. Somebody was gassing your brother.
You know what?
Like,
Everybody says that. Like, nobody ever sits back and listens. And maybe they don't go back and read their bios, and they think, oh, wait a minute, that's me? You talking about me? Yeah, for real.
You know what it is?
That's you.
See, for me, like, I've read it over and over and over again. Like, I'm in the middle of, I have 2 websites right now versus just one because I'm redoing it. And so I've had to go back and make corrections and look at it and then reread it. But when you hear someone else talk about it, you're like, dang, for real? All of that? All right.
I think we had this conversation one time before. I don't think I've ever, other than Zeus, I don't think I've ever had a guest or really talked to anybody who's been in the food and beverage or hospitality industry before. And I've been in this industry for 15 years. This is actually my career. I've been in this industry for 15 years. And when I first started, like, I'm on the hotel tourism side of it, not the food and beverage side of it. And so, you know, but you have to go through all of it. When you school, you got to go through all of it. And so taking classes for me, it was this was the worst part of it for me. When you got to the food and beverage, when you got to the restaurant part, all of that oh my gosh, that was like the worst for me. Like that was the struggle for me because I wasn't interested in the food and beverage, and I wasn't interested in the restaurant part of it. I don't want to do any of that. And I just remember, the classes. It was my professors, like we had it out. Like you don't understand. Like I don't ever want to work in a restaurant. Like I don't ever want to be behind a bar. I don't want to do none of this until it got to the wine tasting class. Like, can you sign me up for this like 3 times? Like, can I take this class like 3 times? Like, that was the best class to me. And I saved that class for last because, next to last semester, because wine was like it for me, and I felt like I became so culturally aware of myself. And I'm talking like I graduated the first time back in 97. I felt so culturally aware of myself when I took this class back then. Now, this was when I was in school for political science. When I went back for hospitality management, I took the class again. And again, I felt like I was just, you see a different side of you. You start to learn things because, and this is one of my questions down the road, but you drink wine because you like the taste, or, you're not fully aware of what you don't worry about pairing anything with anything. You just drink it because, I like to have the wine glass in my hands and, I like the way I look with it. But when you take a wine tasting class and you learn how to pair and I just felt like I was better than anyone else. And that was the only thing that I liked about the food and restaurant and the beverage side of the hospitality management curriculum at all. And you know what the funny thing is? People tell me, like, why are you still in the industry? And I said, you have to realize that there's a fine line, a very fine line between the hotel side of it and the food and beverage side of it. We all still do the same thing. I just don't work on the restaurant side. That's all. That's
exactly.
it. But I want to jump. You know what? I can talk about that all day. I really can. I want to jump right into this because it's not about me. It's all about you.
Stop it.
It is. It is. How do you analyze, when it comes to wine, how do you analyze something like wine, which is such a subjective experience?
Okay. So the best thing to do is to do it blind. It's just the wine in the glass by itself. A lot of people will get caught up in a label or a name, and glass, you walk up to a table and someone's like, hey, what do you think of this wine? You have no choice but to be subjective and tell what you think of whatever is in that glass. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the other thing that you do is, when I'm looking at a wine, when I'm analyzing a wine, I'm looking at the color. Does it match what it's supposed to be? I'm also, smelling for any faults in the wine, anything that might be wrong with the wine. Is the wine bad? And then also for whatever characteristics that the wine is going to give, what fruit components, what earthy qualities it might have, and then obviously the tasting portion and whether or not, is something out of balance? Is the wine sweeter than it's supposed to be? Is it drier than it's supposed to be? Does it have too much alcohol and, it's clashing with all the other components? So that's how I analyze a wine.
And what was the first wine that you ever drank that the taste literally blew you away?
I would say the first wine that blew me away was, I'll never forget it. It's a bottle of, it's called Ditorin, or some would say Ditorin, and it's from South Africa, from Stellenbosch, South Africa, and it's absolutely phenomenal, and from that moment, I was just like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm selling this wine every chance I get, and that's what really started what transitioned me into really studying more and learning more about wine.
How much does the bottle go for?
At that time, I think the bottle retail was about $50. I think now it's probably somewhere around 60 or so, depending on where you find it at.
Okay. So we want to enlighten our listening audience just a little on how to properly enjoy a wine tasting experience for those who may have never had one before. All right?
Well,
what tips do you have?
Go ahead.
What tips do you have for someone who would first want to go to a wine tasting?
So the very first thing that I would say is go to my website, theroyalvines.com, or follow me on Instagram. We can set up a virtual tasting for you. But besides that, go in with an open mind and really ask questions. That's the biggest thing. Ask questions. No matter how silly you might think that question is, chances are someone in that room or someone in that meeting, whether it's virtual or in person, someone else is going to have that same question. And, we all know at this point in our lives, once we get a little older, that the person that asks the questions is the person who is going to be able to receive that education. So if you're not asking questions of, that you've had for years or you've had for months or something that comes up, if you're not asking that question, it's not going to be answered. And, you're failing yourself in not asking those questions. So ask plenty of questions. And if the somm is good, they're going to answer those questions in a way that you're going to receive it. You're going to be able to kind of digest it. And you're like, okay, cool, I get it now.
All right, so we're at our sampling, and you just poured a bit of wine in our glass. How should we taste our wine?
All right, so first we're going to look at it. You're going to take a look at it, and you're going to kind of hold it at a 45-degree angle away from you, so that way you don't spill it on yourself. And you want to be looking at like a white background, and you want to look at the wine and see what color it is. Then you put your nose in it, and you're going to smell it, and think of the things that you smell. For me, sometimes I get hung up, so I think of colors. And I know it sounds weird. People are like, what? You think of colors when you smell wine? But I do, and I then associate, I'm serious, I associate those colors with different fruits and different components that can be in the wine. So, there might be sometimes where I'm like, man, I'm getting like this orange, brown, and green color. And then I think to myself, okay, what's orange? Obviously, oranges are orange. You also have flowers. There's flowers that can be orange. Then green. All right, what about green apples, right? Synthetic grapes are green. There's all types of different things that can be green. And then you think about brown. I'm like, okay, well, what's brown? Maybe mushrooms or like the soil, the ground. Those aromas can be in wine. And then my mind starts to open up and say, okay, what else? So once you smell those things, then you can go ahead and go into the tasting and see if those things that you smelled, you're also tasting as well, and see if they change. Because sometimes you can smell a fruit and you're like, oh my gosh, it smells like papaya, and it smells like really ripe papaya, almost like super sweet. And then you taste it and you're like, oh, that papaya is still there, but it's not as sweet as it was when I smelled it. So, and that's the fun part.
All right. Suppose after we've tasted our wine, and technically there's nothing wrong with the wine itself, but we just don't like it. What should we do?
Cook with it. If you're at home, and if not, if you're at a restaurant, don't feel bad to send the wine back. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm actually not feeling this. And then typically the somm is like, hey, that's perfectly fine. Let's find something that you are going to enjoy. That's kind of the job and it comes with the territory. Not everybody's going to like your recommendation. Not everybody's going to like every wine. So sometimes it's really just trial and error. It's like, hey, you know what? Why don't you try this? Tell me what you think. Okay, you don't like this? Well, try this. And then if they're good at what they do, then they'll be able to find something that's your cup of tea, something that you're going to enjoy.
And so say that you're at a restaurant, and I know this is a big misconception, like me personally. At home drinking, I have a go-to wine. It's a cheap bottle. Go to Walmart, grab it. It's a sangria. I love it. I eat it. I mean, I drink it with everything, damn hot fries, damn cotton candy, bubble gum, you name it. I drink this sangria with everything. That's the wine I copped yesterday. But when I go out, I know how to pair my wine with what I'm eating. Now, I'm a pescatarian, so I'm very limited on what I'm able to eat when I go out as well as home. So my wines I'm limited. I don't, I know what I like, and I know what I like to drink as well as eat. But suppose someone is out, they go to Applebee's, okay? There's not someone that really knows how to pair wine with their meal. What do you think one of the biggest misconceptions that customers have when it comes to ordering food with wine?
For me, the biggest misconception is you got to get it right. People are like, oh, my gosh, I have to have red wine with red meat and white wine with white meat or fish or chicken, and it's not necessarily true. And a lot of people think that they don't have the answers themselves. But the answer really to your wine pairing at the very basic level is understand the flavors that are in the food and the flavors that are in the wine. And it's not hard to figure out. If you're out at Applebee's and you're going to you get some food, all right, think about the food that you're getting, because you know what you're ordering. You're like, okay, I like these flavors. And then type into Google search wines with flavor of boom, or nice pairings of boom. And as long as you try and match up those flavors, I think you'll be perfectly fine. Going to be some trial and error, so you're going to have some, some things that don't work, but that's also the journey. It's also the fun part about trying new things. I've had some wine pairings that were absolute trash. I mean, absolute garbage. And you know what? You learn from those. Like, I've tried some really weird stuff, and I'm like, yep, that doesn't work. But that's the fun part. And don't put pressure on yourself to get it right. It's fun. And then worst case scenario, do like the Italians do. Drink whatever the hell you want with whatever the hell you want.
I must be Italian then. That sangria goes with everything. If you're just tuning in, you're live right here on Endie Fiya with your girl, Endie Fiya, and my very, very special guest. Seems like he's a jack of all trades. He's a DJ. He's a content creator. But tonight we're dipping into his world of wine reviews and wine tasting and certified sommelier, Ray Sholes.
Every time you come around, you kill my sweet tooth. You the insulin shot I want if I get diabetes. Wanna make you happy, neck your wrist filled with VV. Shot me with a Cupid arrow, can't pull it out. Like when I'm in that cocoa, ain't no pulling out. The sign of you moaning, I swear what keep me going as I continue to swim deeper in your ocean. I'll be your frontline soldier, feelings all listed. You bring a side out of me I didn't know existed. You that 180, complete the 360. Your joy, smile, and comfort shows when you get around me. Feels too good to be true, just gotta trust the process. We got bright days ahead, best believe I got it. I'm in it for the long run. You dealing with a thoroughbred now. I'm about to show you how it's done.
I want all your sugar. Give me that cocoa. 'Cause I just can't get enough. Here's cocoa. Baby, don't go before I get some. Give me that sweet thing. I want all your sugar, all your sugar.
Want you all to myself, damn right I'm selfish. I'ma be the one deliver everything you wish. Might be a tall task, but I embrace the challenge. I'ma play my part, maintain the balance. When it come to you, I can't get enough. Your boy be going crazy about that Cocoa Puff. The way that box be soaking, feel like the faucet running. Shouting out my name while I'm steady stroking. I aim to please, cater to all your needs. Rocking my last name, father all your seeds. My actions speak volumes, just follow me. Lead block like Rassman, hella yards to carry. About to show you things that you ain't never seen before. Take you to places that you ain't never been before. Nothing but the best, 'cause you deserve it. I'm all in it with you, 'cause to me you're worth it.
Hey, Ways of Dawn, microphone check with Coco. If you're just tuning in, you are live right here on Endie Fiya with your girl Nakia and my very, very special guest, Ray Sholes, the Royal Vine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking about...
That song was fire, though.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to play. We were actually supposed to give you a little bit of way on. Y'all just be messing up over there. Good help is so hard to find, I swear. Anyway, y'all mix it up. W's, you get W's, I know. I swear. Anyway, we were talking about what were we talking about? We were talking about
tasting wine, baby.
Yeah, but what people were over expecting when they go to restaurants. So, what do you think is the most? No, food pairing. Talking about pairing. That's pairing. There we go. What's the most exquisite pairing of food and wine in the world? Do you know?
Man, that's a good one. I would say champagne and caviar. I mean,
yeah.
You think? That's pretty classic. That's pretty classic and kind of elegant and represents luxury on both sides of food and, on beverage. So, like, champagne and caviar is kind of like, the jam. I mean, for me, it's more of a really nice, maybe like a Madeira or a port with, like, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, because I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But, I'm basic like that. Like, I like stuff like that, I'm a little bit of a cornball, so, like, I'll do that. But I can also flip it and move you on to, something a little bit more extravagant too. And we can do the champagne with the caviar. We can do that. But for me, I'm at the house, peanut butter and jelly. Let me get some dessert wine, and, we're gonna jam out to that.
Yeah. So what would you say the most unusual pairing would be?
Unusual pairing. I heard someone talk about.
I don't think the peanut butter and jelly would be unusual.
Nah, that one's not unusual. But unusual would be something like I heard this pairing once, and I've never tried it, but like a hot dog with like all the trimmings, whatever, with like gamay. From France, and I was just like, I'm like, what? Like, who? When I think hot dog, I'm thinking beer. I automatically think beer, but I was just like, all right, I might have to look into that. See how that goes.
No.
But I heard that a while back. Hey.
See, I don't eat hot dogs anyway, so see,
Yeah, you totally grossed out.
Yeah, all of that. That's nasty. All right, so if you could drink
some crazy
wine,
stuff out there, man.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was doing bad with like sangria and like flaming hot Cheetos, the flaming hot fries, and my sangria. Yeah, that's like breakfast to me right there. Like there was one period in my life, like like I was just on that. Like that's all, breakfast and lunch. That was just me. Like I'm glad I got over that, but that was just me. And then cotton candy.
Sangria.
Yes.
All right.
I
might have to check that out. Like hot fries,
Don't knock it.
like the Cheeto joints, right?
Yes.
All right.
And that Cruz Garcia sangria. Go to Walmart, get you a bottle, get them hot fries.
I'm gonna tag you on Instagram when I do it. You know that, right?
Oh, that's life right there. I'm telling you, that's life. Don't sleep. Your wife's gonna be like, "What?
What are you doing? What are you eating?" My son's gonna be all about it. Though. My son's gonna be like, "Yo, can I get some hot fries, Dad? Let me get some hot fries." Though.
Yep. Hook my man's up now. Yes.
No, I ain't had hot fries since I was legit. So I'm gonna kill them fries.
Yeah, and that's what was shocking for me. It was like when I was younger, the hot fries was it, and then all of a sudden they came back out with hot fries, and I was like, yo, some hot fries, and my hot fries used to be in a blue bag. Andy's hot fries in the blue bag used to be the thing, and then Chester came back out with these hot fries, and I was like, yo, is these hot fries?
What color is the bag now? The bag is what, yellow?
Yellow, yeah, yellow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you. Don't worry. I'm gonna show you the hot fries and the wine you need to get. Hook it up. Hook it up. Tell you that's some good eating and drinking right there, boy. Yes. You ain't gonna know what hit you. You ain't gonna know what hit you. I'm telling you. Yes, boy, you ain't gonna know. You ain't gonna know. And the wine, because it's so, the sangria, because it's so, I don't know, before you know it, you're gonna be done with the bottle. Like that little bottle, that's like a little teaser. So you get the big bottle, and before you know it, the bottle is gone. You're gonna look at yourself like, that was me? Like I did that? I drank the whole bottle? I was going through like a bottle every other day. I was going through a bottle, and that's when I knew, like, you gotta stop this. You gotta stop. Yeah.
You was doing the most.
I done told all my business. Look, I told you we was gonna talk like we was on the couch. I done told all my business. People think I'm an alcoholic. Yeah.
That's what it's about, though. That's what it's about.
All right, so now before we talk about the Royal Vine, if you could only drink one wine for the rest of your life, what would that wine be?
I get this question a lot, and I always flip it. So I'm going to flip it on you. The wine that I would drink is definitely going to be Riesling. Now, the flip is I'm using that varietal, right? I'm going to use that grape. And the reason why it's Riesling is because Riesling can be sweet, and this is a major this is a major thing that people kind of mix up all the time. They always think that Riesling is always sweet, and Riesling can be really, really, really dry.
Really dry,
You can actually make sparkling from Riesling as well. It's called Sekt in German, through champagne, and it's delicious. So you can have sparkling, you can have really dry, you can have semi-sweet, you can have sweet, and then you can have desserts, which is like out of this world crazy. So I would take on Riesling so I can at least, kind of have the whole spectrum. So it will be between Riesling and Chenin Blanc. That's another grape that, can be used in those different variations as well. So it would be Chenin Blanc or Riesling. That's what I'm drinking.
Okay. I forgot
what
about
you. You don't stick to the sangria?
Hell yeah, but I forgot about Riesling. See, you really just opened my mind up. Like, you took me back to restaurant management, having to study wines. I wish my daughter could hear me because I used to throw books. I really used to throw books in restaurant management. But my mind really just opened back up. I forgot all about that. I think I might start answering that way because you do have the varietals. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my jam.
You got that down now. Yeah. Yeah. I might pair that with some salmon really soon, too.
Yo, do it.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the Royal Vines.
The Royal Vines is my brand that kind of turned into a business by accident. Like, I don't know if you ever hear people saying, "Oh, like it accidentally turned into a business." Like, how does that happen? I actually was, I was in the midst of really starting to learn about wine, and I was like, okay, I had been doing a lot of reading. Now I was getting into the tasting part. I'm like, okay, how can I taste, Pinot Noirs from all over the world, all together, right, and have a taste? So I was like, the best thing to do in my head was just get a group of people together, everybody throw in some money, and, like, we all taste Pinot Noir and talk about it. Got my friends together and was like, hey, I'm doing we're going to do a wine tasting. I'm a cook because obviously I could cook being in the restaurant industry.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm just going to make some food and we're going to taste Pinot Noir tonight. So everybody was like, all right, cool. So, they throw in some money. I went out, I got some bottles. I got one bottle for free, and I was just like, what? I'm like, okay. And then I got another bottle for free. And I was like, okay, cool. And, I actually had a little money left over. So I was just like, all right, well, I'm just going to pocket this for, my fee of, organizing this. And, people, my friends loved it. They were like, you got to do another one. So I was like, all right, cool. So I did another one and another one. And, it got to the point where I just kept doing them. And that's kind of how Royal Vines was born. I used to have tasting notes and, scores and everything set up for everybody to fill out. And, it was a good time. It was a really good time. So I just kind of continued with that, continued my learning process and continued to do tastings. And, I recently had a chance to really dive back into doing tastings, especially this year because there's such a need for, social events, but keeping that social distance and quarantine and being locked down and all that. So, what better way to do that than with virtual tastings? So that's pretty much what Royal Vines is. We do spirit tastings as well. We also do something called the cocktail class, or the cocktail party, where it's actually a cocktail class, almost like a bar, just listening to me talk and teach you about a cocktail. You actually are the person that's making the cocktail and get to enjoy your own cocktail or trade it with your partner, whatever the case might be. And you learn a little something about the backstory on that cocktail or the backstory on that particular spirit we're using. And you get to drink and mingle and talk and chat. It's great because, you can invite friends over to the house and have a cocktail party and not have to worry about being the host and making sure everyone's okay, because I'm there, making sure everybody's okay and making sure everybody's drinking.
Wow, I like that. I don't have friends, but I like that.
She said I don't have friends. You got family, you got colleagues, you got, coworkers. You know what I mean? Holidays is coming up. Corporate parties, holler at me.
I work from home. Yeah. Yeah.
That's all right. We could do one-on-one. I said that's all right. We could do a one-on-one session. We'll do the pairing together with the Cheetos and the.
But see, that's the thing. I don't know. I can't drink right now, so we would have to make non-alcoholic spirits, and I don't know how well that would turn out. I need to do
but you know what? They're out there.
They are. I know. I need to do something between you and Zeus, and I need to do something this holiday season with my friends. I know my friends are listening. Like, did she just have to just say she ain't got no friends? Yeah, I do need to do something. They really are. My phone's gonna blow up. 20 minutes, I'm gonna catch hell. I do need to do something for my friends this year. They've been amazing. They've been so supportive, especially of the show. The show has did some really amazing things this year. Our vision board, we've been able to mark off everything. One thing is left on the vision board, which I know we'll be able to mark that off by the end of this month. And so we've done some amazing things, some amazing numbers this year. And so our listening audience has been amazing. My friends have been so supportive. My family's been so supportive. And so I will definitely have to do something this holiday season for everyone, providing that, you know, we don't shut down again. I see that a lot of states are shutting down. And so I know this is all off topic, but I do want to say, I don't know if you've had to be COVID tested or not, but I thought that, you know, this is like something that is on a voluntary basis, right? So I went to the doctor yesterday, and normally my appointments are, you know, it's like, let me check your blood pressure, let me check, you know, like your temperature or whatever. It's everything that they've done. They've been able to do it in the parking lot, you know, just blood work. You come right into like the foyer of the office, you know, and then if they have to send me out to like my cardiologist or whatever, they know that I'm good, and so they see me. Certain offices will just let you come on in with no problem. Yesterday I had to see my general practitioner, and they were like, no, we need you to come to the back. So we're going to have to COVID test you before you come inside. And I'm like, all right, cool. So they're talking to me and telling me, like, there's a person ahead of you. It's going to take like 15 minutes for that person's test. It's going to take like 15 minutes for your test. So that's a total of 30 minutes. Like, they're talking to me and telling me all this, and then they're telling me the procedure for the COVID test. And next thing I know, they have this little thing up my nose. Like, they're talking to me but telling me what they're going to do at the same time. Like, I had no time to object at all. Already up my nose. Right. They're like, yep, now we're going to have to swab the next side on. I'm like, wait a minute. This is involuntary COVID testing. Like, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm like, yep, it's already done. Okay, so I couldn't even object.
That's crazy.
I was like, nah, that's how we get people. That's how we get y'all. And I'm like, oh, dang, it's over with already. It's like, yeah, it's done. You have worries? Nah, I've been in quarantine like 9 months. I had no worries. But I'm just saying, y'all didn't even give me time to object or anything. Yeah. So for all of you who are worried about COVID testing, you know, easy peasy. They're going to stick it up your nose, you know, nothing to worry about.
Man,
you
that's
see
the
most,
most uncomfortable thing, though. Oh, my gosh. It's like,
was it
it doesn't hurt. Well, I didn't, you know what, mine was anytime I've ever gotten like a nose swab, it's always been uncomfortable. I mean, I hardly ever get the flu, but I'm one of those people that, you know, I don't do the whole flu shot thing either. I just don't think that it makes sense. But that's just me personally. If someone out there listening disagrees, that's you. That's you. Do your thing.
That's you.
And do you, boo. Do you.
Right.
But for me, I don't do the whole flu shot thing, and I hardly ever get sick. So,
right. No, it wasn't. I didn't think it was uncomfortable at all. My son had to have it for his job, and he was like, you know, but they made him do it. He went to like CVS, and they made him do it himself. So I don't know. Maybe he stuck it up his, you know, nose too far. But he was like, yeah, it hurt. I was in pain. He's a wimp anyway. My tolerance of pain is very high, so it didn't bother me at all. If anything, it opened up my sinus cavity more. You know, like today, I've been crying all day. Like, you know, my eyes won't stop watering. That's the most, you know, that has bothered me. But, yeah, I was just like, you know, needless to say, you know, negative test. They went ahead and took me in the back and did everything they needed to do. But I was just like, dang, y'all didn't even give me time to object or anything. So since my test is negative, everybody around my house is all good. You know, I will have my few people over so that we could do, you know, something. Because I got to get my coquito.
Your COVID crew.
Yeah, you know, get my people up in here, and we got to do something. So now You're not a bartender, are you?
Yes, a bartender.
You are. All right. So do you do like bartender certification as well?
No, I wholeheartly don't believe in bartending certifications unless your state mandates you have a certification in order to be a bartender. So that's one. So if your state mandates for you to be certified or have some type of certification in order to bartend at a operation or a facility, then obviously that's different. But in a lot of states, you don't necessarily have to be certified as a bartender or go to a bartending school in order to get placed behind a bar. In Florida, that's not something that's necessary. So for me, I don't need to do certifications just because, one, I don't believe in them being in this particular state. I think, you can definitely learn a lot on the job. So if you're already working in a restaurant, the best thing to do is to team up with those bartenders and let, whoever the manager is, let them know, like, hey, I'm interested in this. And like, I'll fill in whatever shifts. And because there's always bartenders that don't want to work, brunch. They don't want to work Saturday night sometimes. Or they don't want to work lunch. And you pay your dues and you pick up the slack where they don't want to. And, you start learning from there and you go from there. So, that's my wholehearted belief as far as being a bartender. For those states that do require a certification, I'm sorry for y'all. Do what you got to do.
Do you have a favorite or a go-to, or can you recommend a wine that is train of thought just disappeared. I said wine and got thirsty. I'm sorry, I did. My gosh.
No, it's okay.
All right. So here we go. All right. So what I'm trying to say is my favorite wine by now I want to be politically correct in saying this. My favorite wine by an ethnic distributor, maybe this is the word. I like the McBride Sisters collection, Black Girl Magic. Their California Red Blend. All right. So do you have a preference? Can you recommend? Do you have a favorite? Do you even drink any that are put out by any ethnic?
You put me on the spot here.
Wineries.
I have tons of recommendations. I have tons and tons of recommendations. I can't say that I have a favorite because I try to work with so many. So basically, the whole YouTube channel is focused on education, but then there's a series that I do called the Black-Owned Wine Review. And the Black-Owned Wine Review is exactly what you think it is. It's Black-owned wines that I find, that I've heard of, and I get a hold of, and I do a live tasting or a review on. Been some really exceptional wines that I've had, and there have been some ones that I'm just like, I don't know if I should go ahead and publish this one. But I have to say that I'm a big fan of Theopolis Vineyards. I'm pretty sure Theodora Lee, who is the owner and also a lawyer in California, I'm pretty sure she's probably tired of me like posting about her stuff, posting about her wines. And then also Longevity Wines has blown me away as well. But there's so many out there. I mean, people are probably now hearing about a lot more now as well, which is out of Santa Fe. And this brother is super dope. He went to HBCU. I can't remember if it was, I think it was HU, and I'm not going to mistake which HU, but
okay.
I know he went to HBCU, and he used to work with Ace of Spades. He worked with Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy Group, which has Moet Hennessy, obviously, as well as Dom Perignon is underneath that umbrella. Grey Goose is underneath that umbrella. So he's had some real experience working on the marketing side for really luxurious brands. So now he has this rosé that's super delicious, and you can find up and down the East Coast. So look out for that if you haven't had it. I mean, but there's so many. I'm about to do another review on this Riesling from Texas, and like when I heard about it, I'm like, Riesling from Texas? What? Thought it was ridiculous, and turns out that I got a chance to taste it, and I was just like, yep, there's definitely a review coming for this one because it is badass. I mean, this is some fire Riesling coming out of Texas. So, Share Me Wines is the name of the winery, and this is actually her first or her inaugural vintage, basically. So her first vintage of wine that she's making. So there's so many. Just get to the YouTube channel. It's super easy to find. YouTube.com/Royal Vines Miami, or you can find it on my Instagram. Just the link is in the bio, and subscribe because I have a lot more black-owned wine reviews coming, and a lot more wine education coming too. So you want to know about black-owned wines? Stick with me, hang out with your boy, and we're going to kick it. We'll have some wine. And, yeah, that's it.
All right, so what wines should we buy as investments?
Investments, okay. So, one, you want to buy wines that, and that's a really good question, by the way. So if you're looking at investing in wine to kind of like create a portfolio, I would say, one, you can start buying some of these cult wines if you like and, collecting them on a yearly basis. And once you do that, you can then go ahead and put them into an auction. And when you do that, they're worth a lot more because you have, say, you have the 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, where a lot of people might not have that. So people want to do those type of tasting. And they want to be like, okay, I want to be able to taste through all of these years, or I want to be able to say that I have all of these years because maybe they have the 2006 and 2007, whatever. So that's one way to invest. So you can look at cult wines. Those cult wines would be something like Bond, or you could do something like Sesacaya from Italy. There's just the huge names that are out there as far as wine is concerned. The other thing that you can do is you can dig into really expensive wines that coming from France, or from Italy, and some of these iconic names, and just collect those and just leave them in your cellar. Get a cellar somewhere, get like a little wine fridge, put them in there, and just leave them there. Any of those from Bordeaux would work, and any of the great domains or great houses or great brands from Burgundy would work. Anything from northern Italy, some Chianti, yes, no, maybe so. But some of those big names that you always hear about or that you see in the news, those are some of the ones that you can definitely invest in, keep them, collect them, and then you can auction them off later, or you just keep them and just to have.
He's educated, guys. He knows his shit. He knows what he's talking about. Our certified sommelier, our DJ, our content creator, Ray Sholes. And yes, I said our because, once he's on the show, he's family. So, yes, our certified sommelier. Yes.
That's right.
It has been amazing having you here this evening, Ray. I want to thank you for joining me here this evening. You could have been anywhere, but you're here with me, giving so freely of yourself, your time, sharing all about what it is you do, why you do what you do. And I want to thank you so much for being here with me this evening. I want to go ahead and open up the floor to you so that you can go ahead and give, again, all of your contact information for those who may be listening live, for those who may come back and listen to one of the many, many playback shows, how they can get in contact with you, how they can reach out to you if they are interested in your wine tasting, if they want to get in on the cocktail tasting as well, if they want to purchase merchandise. Yeah, y'all see the new merch? Yes. For whatever reason they may have to get in contact with Ray Sholes, the floor is now yours to get all of that contact information out.
Yeah, so basically you can definitely find me on all your social media platforms at The Royal Vines. You can also check out both of my websites right now. I'm in transition between two of them. One is theroyalvines.com, and the other is theroyalvines.com/merch. So you can find me on both of those. And then obviously, I'll give y'all my email too. It's ray@theroyalvine. So if you ever have questions, please feel free to shoot me an email, shoot me a DM, any of that. I love talking to people, so you can even call me straight from my ID if you want to. So shoot me a text message, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email, whatever works for you, whatever you like, and that's how you can reach me.
Sounds like a plan. All right, guys, make sure that you are back here on Monday morning for Monday Morning Motivation. Remember, new show, new host, same concept. That's all you need to know. All right? Then back here on Tuesday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Two Late Tuesdays on Endie Fiya, and 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays with Royal Diamond as our guest. All right? Our last show of the year. Super excited. Until then, you guys have an amazing night. Stay safe. Make sure you're wearing your gloves. Make sure you're using your hand sanitizer. Make sure you're masking up, your social distancing. If your state requires 10 people, abide. If your state says 25 people, abide. If you're 50, abide. Yes, guys, follow the rules. That's all you got to do. All right? Follow the rules. Ray, again, thank you so much for joining us here this evening. And I'm going to send you those pictures.
Thank you.
You can go try that concoction. All right? It's the bomb.
Awesome.
You guys have a good night and happy holidays.
Right.